Welcome back to Anatomy with Miss Resty. So today we're going to be diving into the parts of the skull, reviewing the cranial bones, bones that make up the face, the sutures, foramen, and other bone markings. There are four major bones that make up the cranium. We have the frontal bone, our two parietal bones, two temporal bones, and then the occipital bone in the back. The sutures that separate these bones are the coronal suture, the sagittal suture, the lambdoidal suture, and the squamosal suture. Zooming into the bones of the face, we have the nasal bone that make the bridge of the nose, the maxilla bone, upper lip all the way up to the side, the zygomatic bone, which makes your cheekbone, and then the mandible, which is our lower jawbone. Here is the underside of the skull. Let's go over some bone markings we see here. First, the foramen magnum. This is where the spinal cord will exit your skull. On either side are two rocking-shaped structures called occipital condyles. On the lateral sides of the underside of the head, we have the mastoid process and styloid process. Styloid reminds me of a stiletto. Mastoid is massive. Some additional foramen on the underside of the skull include the jugular foramen, the carotid foramen, the lacerum, and the ovale foramen. Sagittal view of the skull, we've got the zygomatic arch, and then the condyle of the mandible, which forms the TMJ, or temporomandibular joint, where it meets up with the temporal bone. On the front of the skull, we see the mental protuberance, the mental foramen, the infraorbital foramen, meaning below the eye orbit. These are the fissures of the eye socket, and way in the corner there, we have our optic foramen. That is all for today with our skull. Don't lose your head, study instead. See you next time.